everyone, welcome to another episode of Mitch's Minute, the podcast show that might not last a lot longer than you'd think, but less than you'd hope. Because we were actually talking about restructuring the podcast shows to kind of go back to how, like, the very first podcast show we had, like, ever on the fucking channel, which was Velvet Talks. We're actually talking about going back to that, not as the name, because I like that name, because I'm a vain motherfucker.
Because the title is all about me.
Me! You know, I think that having, like, something structural to talk about would be super great. But before we go into any of that, let's go ahead and introduce our guest for the episode. Who is this? Who's entered my Mitch's Minute room?
That was the wrong key combination. It's Austin. Yeah.
Dude, that was also like a weird delay.
Yeah, I'm on push to talk, which I have mapped to Control T. But I'm so used to like copying and pasting things that I did Control V on accident.
Oh shit!
like the fucking like the little spotlight shows up and you're not there for like 2 seconds.
I'm like 5 feet to the side of
Yeah.
where the spotlight is.
Yeah, they're like, oh shit.
Like,
To the left.
You're actively on your way, moving towards the microphone. No. So hey, Austin. Why don't you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Hello, my name is Austin. I've been a member of the server since about summer of 2017. At some point towards the end of 2017, I became a $5 patron. I think that's how much I spend a month. I don't remember sometimes.
I don't know how much money I give you.
I've been a happy patron of the show for a solid year.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Which is really cool, and I love being able to support the show. I'm a huge fan of the show. I've been a huge fan of the show. I love all the people here. It's a wonderful community. I've met tons of awesome people, and I've made lots of very nice friends. And now I get to be on this wonderful show.
Yeah, so one of the reasons that we kind of wanted to do guests, well, god damn it, that's what we should have called the fucking show, Guests the Velvet Room. Motherfucker. Damn it!
We called it Seahorse Stalking!
That's right, Seahorse Stalking it was. No, so, one of the reasons we wanted to have guests on was because a lot of times when we do podcast shows, I do like to bring in some fans to hear what they have to say about specific things. And, when I think of Persona fans specifically from the show, I think of you. You're my number one Persona fan. So much so that you actually have made me doubt how much of a fan I am about Persona compared to like other people.
That's some of the baggage that comes with like Asperger's and like autism is like you get hyper fixated on something, so you just do nothing but read lore.
I have nothing else better to do with my time. Read lore.
You're like a real D&D wizard.
But for Persona 5.
Yeah.
Like just Persona.
Yeah, that's how I found this server and this channel was through Persona 5. I was actually in the middle of playing P5, and or maybe I was most of the way through it. And I was looking for reaction videos to certain scenes from P5, because a lot of the shit that happens in P5 is really funny, and it's really fun to watch people react to it. And I came across the highlights of the streams between Mitch and Gangmudo. And I could not stop laughing my ass off. Just Mitch and Gangmudo laughing and giggling like little children over the things that were happening in P5. It was infectious. I almost fell out of my seat, and I was like, "This is awesome!" And I binge watched before I even joined the server. I binge watched all the streams. I think you were in the middle of Kanashiro's Palace. I binge watched all the streams in a week, and then I watched that stream live, that most recent stream. Then when you were in, I think it was towards the end of Kanashiro's Palace, and then I joined the server, and I happened to join the server. At the time, it was just after you finished reading a fan fiction of where Akechi wanders into LeBlanc and fucks a stack of pancakes.
That's right.
And it was just after you finished reading that, and I joined the call to dick jokes and pancake fucking.
That's right. We have a very high standard here on our channel.
Oh, I mean, clearly.
Clearly. Very clearly.
Well, you know, it's I don't know. I guess I'm just really happy to hear that, like, you did find something of value here. Like, I don't know. That's just really good for. I know that sounds weird to be like, yeah, let me give myself a pat on the back for you finding friends. It's more like it's more like I'm trying to. But, like, I don't know. I've said it 1,000 times. This isn't about me. But I'm being a narcissistic dick right now. And all I really want out of the show is for people to find a way to better someone else's day, and it seems like that has happened for you, which makes me, which validates my own existence, and you know,
I mean, that's a mood, though. I mean, we all want to be validated in some way. Like, I personally like making people laugh, and if I can make someone laugh, even at my own expense, then I feel good about myself.
That's very fair.
Super valid. Very fair.
Your finding the show is like an odd mix of mine and Nate's discovery of the show. Believe it or not.
I'm not really in the mood to have hey, how did we find this tiny fucking YouTube channel?
I was looking for P5 content, and you guys were on the list when I like searched on YouTube. Just like all the like the highlights you used to do of all your streams, where you cut all the funny bits together.
We were the top legions. Now we're the top precipices of fucking Neko Jishi, apparently.
there's like weird coincidences and things that have happened that have even affected the other server that I'm in, which is kind of a spin-off of this server, the D&D server that I'm a part of.
Oh, I'm aware.
the very evident
one of the most prominent members of the Discord server that I'm a part of, his name is Gold, and he actually, the first server he joined was this server, the Velvet Room Gaming server, and it was because you guys played Monster Prom.
Oh.
You guys played Monster Prom, and that's how he discovered the Velvet Room Gaming server. And then we were talking in general, and I casually mentioned that we had a D&D server. And he's like, ooh, woo, what's this? D&D.
Ooh, woo, god damn it.
Oh,
will we ever escape the ooh, woo?
No.
No, we never will.
And we do it one time in a video.
And
really?
And he's like, hello, send link. And we sent the link, and now he runs like half of the campaigns in that server.
Fuck.
Yeah, he's like one of the main DMs.
Shit.
Well, shit.
Like, how many? Okay, you say half. How many do you have?
More than I can like count. I would have to actually go look to see how many we have going. Like currently there are no open slots for campaigns. Like I mentioned earlier, like in the warm up for this show, I mentioned that we were Gold is gearing up for a Pokemon campaign.
Oh, that's right.
We don't even have a slot. We don't even have a slot open for that yet. It's just okay. We're getting it ready so that when a slot opens up, we can snatch it.
Oh wow! Holy shit!
The fuck! Shit.
Because
I have fear. I don't want to know how many like campaigns are going. Like I struggle like maintaining like 2.
Because the slots are based around when we're all free. Because it's easy when everyone can be unmuted and doesn't have to type or isn't at work or whatever. And like on Saturdays we do Persona. On Sundays we've been doing a Persona Q set. Well, Joe, our main DM, he does the Persona on Saturdays, and then Gold did Persona on Sundays. I think Nexian does at least one. Gold does at least 2. Joe does 1. I'm not sure if there's any. There's probably others that I'm forgetting, but those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. There's like a Final Fantasy campaign that's going on. That might be. I can't remember if that's Gold or Nexian that does that. Anyway, enough about that.
It's like I feel like we can talk about that for a very long time.
Dude, you're absolutely fine. The whole point is to have a guest on. Like, this is
talk about yourself.
Yeah. This is not.
So it's not Mitch for once.
Yeah, it's not just me yelling into a mic for like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or whatever. But it's funny because I don't even know how to fucking run a fucking Discord server. What is it? I'll never forget this. I know this is like a weird off tangent, but like apparently like there was what the fuck? I can't even remember. Back in 2017, I barely knew how to run this thing. I was not used to Persona 5's huge influx of fans. We went from 100 fans to like 1,000 in like a couple weeks, and in that small interim, like the Discord server went from 5 to like 120 fans, like just like that, and we didn't know how to handle it like at all. And Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I was just gonna say, like, the thing about Persona 5 was Persona 5 is like the best-selling game in the entire Persona series. It's outsold every other Persona game combined.
Really?
That would not surprise me.
It's something crazy like that. Like I heard someone call Persona 5 the first like mainstream Persona game because all the others have sort of been considered like the niche. Like, there's only a certain number of people who find this, entertaining.
You know what? That's super fair.
Well, Persona 5 was very easy to access.
Yeah, and also
unlike 3 and 4.
Yeah, and the aesthetic of 5 was, oh my god, the aesthetic.
Oh,
that was like one of the reasons I bought it. Was just like I saw Persona 5. I had heard of it because it was supposed to come out in like 2014, then 2015, then 2016. And so I had heard of it before, but it had been years. And then so when it dropped, I had no idea it was going to drop. It just fell in my lap. And I had all these memes, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I heard the soundtrack, and I'm like, oh my god, it's like an orgasm in my ears. So I looked into it, and I'm like, yeah, this is going to be a thing I'm going to buy. So I went down to the local Best Buy, and I got myself a copy.
Oh, like, the soundtrack is beautiful. Just gorgeous for this.
It was my favorite, and then now my favorite's the Persona 3 soundtrack.
Oh,
yeah,
it's super solid.
I just thought of something we can all talk about. Oh, the only thing I was going to come with the fucking Discord thing was the fact that, like, I think it's so funny because I don't remember who, but I think I got someone actively mad for making fun of the server you guys made for being a copycat of this server that we're currently in.
I don't know if you made anyone mad, but for the longest time, our server was the D&D server now serving copycats.
Because it was
I remember that.
I think it was like Nextand sent me a screenshot. It was before I actually became part of the server. And I'm still I have such like weird online anxiety when it comes to like talking to people. So like I just don't interact.
Was it Mimikyu who invited you over? I don't remember.
Yeah, because we were getting this one started or something. But something I did kind of want to talk with you, because you have this experience too. Going from P5 to P3, which is something that you and Nate are both have. Nate's experiencing it right now with the show. But what was it like for you going from... Because P5's your first, right?
Yeah, P5 was my first. And then I went straight from P5 to P3, the FES version of P3 on the PS2. And it was like say you're used to driving a car, internal combustion engine, it starts, you drive it. It's like going from a car to a horse and drawn buggy. Is the best way I can probably describe it, because the game is so like the user interface. It's like
the components are there. They're just like not as refined.
It's like the difference between a steam engine and a diesel. It's like it's there. It does roughly the same thing. It's just, oh my god, it's.
I would say that I see your point, but I would raise it that going from. And the initial shock would be from P5 to P3, but
once I got into the rhythm of it, it was just another Persona game. But like initially, I was like, oh my god, because the user interface from P3 to P4 to P5, every game it got streamlined. Where, like in P5, it's like really easy to find what you're looking for. Like in P3, there's like several different menus you have to go through. Like I didn't even know until about halfway through the game that you could actually like upgrade everyone's armor, because in P4 and P5 you can do that at the shop, but in P3 you have to buy everything. You had to keep in mind what everyone used. You had to buy everything at once, and then you had to give it to them in the lobby of Tartarus.
Yeah. Like, in P3, it was like, I believe it was the introduction of the social link aspect, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so
because P2's weird.
Yeah, I've never played. I own P1 and P2. I've never played them. I actually don't technically own them. They're pirated copies. But
well, yeah.
So if you get a chance and you are interested in P2, the PSP remaster of that game is really solid. My only regret is that P2 is technically a two-parter, and you can't get the second part in English.
P2 is very weird because when it initially came out for the original PlayStation, we did not get the first part is Innocent Sin, and the second part is Eternal Punishment. We did not get Innocent Sin, which is the first part, but we got Eternal Punishment.
Well, fuck me.
So for the longest time, we didn't get Innocent Sin, but we got Eternal Punishment. Fast forward to when the games are remade for the PSP. We got Innocent Sin, but we did not get Eternal Punishment.
Damn, I thought we didn't get
if you wanted to play Innocent Sin in English, you played it on the PSP. If you wanted to play Eternal Punishment on the English, you had to track down a copy for the PS1.
Well, did they ever release it? I'm not sure if you would know this. Do you know if they ever released... because they did that for a while. The PSP, you could play PS1 games. They would re-release a couple of those and have it run on a PS1 emulator.
Yeah, I know that people have like modded their PSPs or like put a PS1 emulator on it. I didn't know if it was an actual thing if you could, because I know on the PS Vita you could download PS1 games, but on the original PSP I'm not sure. I know they made emulators that you could put on them, but I know it's on the PS Vita. I'm not sure about the original PSP.
Okay.
Which by the way, the PS Vita just died the other day. Like production of the PS Vita ended officially the other day.
Oh, really?
I mean, that doesn't...
Yeah, because like a few months ago, they stopped making the physical game cards, so it went to downloads only for the PS Vita, which that was sort of the first indication that it was on its way out. And then now, I think it was it was a couple days ago, they officially stopped the production line for the PS Vita. So the PS Vita is, in terms of production, officially dead.
Well, was there anything like exclusively for PS Vita? Let's be honest.
Golden.
Golden.
Yeah, Persona 4 Golden. The only reason why I got a PS Vita wasn't because of Persona, it was because of Danganronpa.
Oh god, was...
because when Danganronpa was finally coming out in English, it was the PS Vita ports, because those were originally PSP games. And Danganronpa's 1 and 2 were remastered in HD for the PS Vita, and that's how they came out in English here.
Not if you were a pirate like me.
Yeah, initially...
Yeah, we were, like, me and Mitch were both, like, playing the fan-translated games.
Back when
like,
super duper was a term.
Yeah, initially...
I was...
Super duper high school level!
Yeah, that's actually how I played the first game originally. The only way before that, like, in the original days, before Danganronpa even had a snowball's chance in hell of coming out here, the only way you could experience it was through the screenshot Let's Plays on the Something Awful forums. And then there was a fan group called Project Zetsubo who did a fan translation of the first game for the PSP, which that's actually how I first experienced Danganronpa, was through the fan translation on the PSP. And then they were partway through making a fan translation of the second game when the localization of the second game was announced, and they canceled it then because they didn't want the fan translation to take sales away from the official translation.
Yeah, well, because a bunch of people here in America were more excited that the fucking release of fucking Danganronpa 2 was going to be soon before fucking Danganronpa 1 was even out here.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy how excited people were here.
Yeah, because it was just sort of the thing that would never happen, like the Cubs winning the World Series, or Joker being in Smash. It was like one of those things that was considered not possible.
Well,
not gonna happen.
Well, what's funny is that you say that, but like I remember the year that like Dangan really blew up was I went to a convention that June, and I remember seeing that fucking bear everywhere, and I was like, "What the
Monokuma?
What the fuck is this fucking bear?"
Yeah.
Monokuma, or Mono Bear as he's known in the fan translation, he's a real treat.
I remember when he was called Mono Bear. I kind of fucking missed that.
Treat. Yeah. I said that wrong. What?
You're fine.
Yeah, fucking.
Like I just remember like all the cosplays and shit like that, and like people were trying to explain to me what it was, and I'm like, what? Why is that popular? Like,
it's not something you can really explain. It's something you just kind of have to experience.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of condescending anime fans who tried to explain that game to me.
God.
Like the anime version of mansplaining or whatever.
Yeah, it's very real. It's like a
Anna-splaining.
And it's Anna.
You have like a high on their horse anime fan, whether they're male or female, it doesn't matter. Like
it's just
like
them
explaining something to you, and it's like, you can explain it a little nicer. I'm totally ignorant.
Well, it's just them trying to like validate their intensity. You know, like it's
because there's always that inherent fear with something like that you're going to be judged for it. So you're trying to justify it to someone else, because there's that inherent feeling that you want to defend yourself also while explaining it.
Yeah,
that's true.
That is fair.
It's something, like anime, which up until like, not like up until like 20 years ago was considered very niche. Like, anime didn't really take off, at least in the United States, until like the mid-90s, and that was because of Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon and Pokemon.
Other mainstream stuff now.
The
heavy quotation marks.
Nate's before times.
Go fuck
yourself. Before Nate.
I was born in 1994, so I vaguely remember Dragon Ball Z, and I remember the Pokemon anime. I wasn't allowed to watch Dragon Ball Z because my mom said it was too violent.
Oh, dude.
I remember like watching Toonami as a kid, man. It was
Toonami always came on like right around my bedtime.
What was a bedtime?
It was weird because in the mid 90s there was a portion of time where I lived out in Hawaii, and they knew what Dragon Ball was before anyone stateside did, because it was brought, apparently. Like, I remember like my cousin had this weird Dragon Ball like PS1 game or something like that, and like it was just bizarre because I don't remember seeing Dragon Ball stateside until a year later maybe. And that's the only memory I have of Dragon Ball as a kid, is just knowing that my fucking sick as shit cousin fucking had these Dragon Ball Z toys. Who is this spiky haired guy? Why do you have a Dragon Man?
Why is there funny?
Why is there a woman whose name is a pun on bloomers, and she has a son named Trunks and a daughter named Bra? I don't
get it. Right. See, it's just really funny because, like, since I live in Australia, like, you guys are talking about this, and then it's like, well, I grew up with that kind of stuff as well, because it took a few years to come here. So it's just like, because you guys, from time to time, you guys like talk about stuff from like your childhood. And I'm like, I remember that. Why the fuck do I remember that?
It's the delay of reaching the land down under.
Mm-hmm. It takes a hot minute, especially like when I was a kid. Like, holy shit. Like, I used to be hype as shit for fucking Dragon Ball. I remember, like, in, like, elementary school, I'm pretty sure I've told this story, not on a stream or anything, but, so, when I first cut my hair short, and I had, like, blonde streaks in my hair, but they grew out, but when I cut it short, I used to spike it up, and it looked like I had frosted tips. I thought I was the coolest fucking kid in my school. And I'm like, I wonder why I got fucking bullied all the time. I referenced goddamn anime all the time.
Oh.
I was a little tiny weeaboo. I thought I was going Super Saiyan.
Oh no. I'm the coolest.
I very, very, because I was born in 1994, so I very, very vaguely remember the hype around Pokemon, because that was like 1998, 1999.
I grew up.
I remember
that.
like the Pokemon branded shit in the Pokemon branded shit in the grocery store, which it's like now like I guess the most recent examples would be all the Minions and stuff, because that's like a more recent example. But I also remember like when the first Shrek film came out, like the hype around Shrek, like the green ketchup for Shrek.
Just the green everything for Shrek.
But the Minions were almost worse, because Amazon, I guess, had something like some sort of a part. Like Amazon had some sort of a promotional thing going, so they had the yellow Amazon boxes with the Minions on them.
Mm-hmm.
So every single time I ordered a package, it was this puke yellow box with Minions on it.
Oh god. It's like, see, that's when you stop using Amazon. It's like, no, stop doing that, please. This is the worst like marketing thing you have ever done to yourself.
Yeah, but using Pokemon is a good segue into another thing I wanted to talk about was the Detective Pikachu movie, a trailer for Detective Pikachu, a new trailer came out recently, and Pikachu says, and I quote, "Get me the hell out of here."
Oh yeah.
And everyone on Twitter, I almost called it shitter. Everyone on Twitter flipped their fucking lid.
Well, that's where most people are on Twitter.
on the
shitter. That's right.
It's the main time that you scroll through Twitter.
But I saw a post today when I was scrolling through looking for things to talk about. Someone said that there's a rumor that Detective Pikachu is going to be PG-13, and technically you are allowed one F-bomb in a PG-13 movie, at least one or two. Who's gonna have
the F-bomb? And it better be fucking Pikachu.
It better be Pikachu. Better tell like fucking
Mewtwo
Snorlax
to fuck off.
Mewtwo, fuck off.
Oh god, fucking.
Or it's he tells Snorlax, get out of the fucking road. I don't know why I'm making them Australian. I apologize.
Did you know fucking Pikachu's Australian, apparently?
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
This is the thing I love the most. It's just like, what is like the Australian culture that you guys have been exposed to, and it's like all wrong.
There's the Crocodile Dundee movies from like way long time ago. Then there's Steve
Irwin is another one.
His birthday was not that long ago. He would have been like, he would have been like 57 or something.
Yeah, 57 is what they said. Oh god, PETA tore a new asshole.
Oh yeah, because PETA opened their dumb whore mouth, and they got their shit kicked.
Oh, dude, PETA was like, "Oh, fucking Steve Irwin was terrible to animals, and he was
saved animals and made like a huge zoo so they could be happy." He saved a lot of those crocodiles he wrestled.
Real fun, by the way.
Fucking, but no, PETA's just like, what a horrible person, and everybody's like, PETA.
He
you kill animals on the daily.
He saved those animals. Like
I know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, so bad.
Yeah, but that was like the tragic thing of when he died, because he was like my dad's age. So like when he died in like that freak accident off of like the Great Barrier Reef or whatever, like that was tragic. Like I remember exactly where I was when that happened.
Yep, just accidentally stood on a stingray. That shit happens.
Well, no, it wasn't that he stood on it.
He swam over it and it got startled and stabbed him in the fucking heart.
Yeah, apparently like it wasn't even he startled it, it was his cameraman, from what I read. His cameraman accidentally startled it trying to get a good shot, and it fucking stabbed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was cut down in his prime, which was really tragic, because they were filming a new show for the Discovery Channel and Animal Planet, and it was sad because he was such an icon and I did
not know he was such an icon like in the US until like
like
until like his birthday came up when we were talking about it.
It's like, well, he's sort of considered on the level of like Bob Ross or Mr. Rogers, like on that level of just pure like childhood like entertainment and just like being a really like overall good human being. And someone who was cut down in their prime. He was like, he has that martyr thing to him where he was cut down in his prime, and it's really, really fucking sad that he's gone because he made the world a whole lot better for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, like I kind of read up on his daughter, who's apparently like also just as into animals. She loves them to death.
He has a son and a daughter, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing, it's freaking like Bindi got gimmicked so hard. Like, she had like a TV show that she had to like sing and shit, and it was like rarely about animals, and it's like, oh
yeah, like, she was a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you gonna do though? Gosh, it was so sad.
I just like remember like hearing about it because I didn't like see it on TV or anything because I never really watched the news, but like I remember like my parents talking about it, and I'm like, wait, what? It's like child me just like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, it's like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, like that happened. I'm like, what?
When I was
I freaked out.
When I was little, I used to like, because like Bob Ross would come on PBS like just after like Mr. Rogers or whatever, like just after they got done with all the kids programming, they would do Bob Ross. And I used to love, I used to like as a kid, you know, when I was too lazy to change channel, I would watch Bob Ross, and that was always so cool to watch him paint. And then many years later, it had to have been within the last 10 years. I didn't realize he had died in like 1995 until like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd know, because he made hundreds of episodes, and so they had a huge backlog of episodes. So I had no idea he died in like 1995. So I was like a year old when he died, and I had no idea.
Oh, I know, because I used to watch like his show when it was on TV with my parents.
And I didn't.
Like I would be sitting out in like the living room, or I would be sitting in their room, and I'd be watching it with them like first thing in the morning.
I didn't. It took me like a few years to even realize that like Mr. Rogers died too. Like it took me a couple years before someone finally told me that Mr. Rogers was dead.
Oh,
like,
let's change the subject. God damn it.
Yeah, sad.
I find it very interesting that this was the conversation topics you wanted to bring on your first guest appearance.
I didn't mean.
I know. Let me talk about how sad I am.
I didn't mean for the train to make a pit stop at the station.
Oh my god.
The sad, and how like a lot of the people that we looked up to as kids
just like Mr.
How the
Rogers'
fuck did we even get on that subject anyway? We were talking about...
No idea.
We were talking about fucking Ryan Reynolds Detective Pikachu saying fuck, and I guess I said it in an Australian accent, and then somehow...
Yeah, that was right. Like Steve Irwin.
So I'd like to introduce you to literally every episode of Mitch's Minute. At some point, I just do it.
Tangents.
So yeah, but okay. So why don't we change the topic? Why don't we do that real quick?
Pokemon.
Okay.
Pokemon.
All right, fine.
Yeah. We wanted to talk about Sword and Shield.
All right. So I'm getting Shield. I don't know what you guys are getting.
I don't know. I want to find out what the fucking gimmick is first. I want to know.
Yeah.
Besides it just being in the UK.
Well, I mean that's the thing. Like I'm sure I must have mentioned it before, but my Pokemon experience essentially is this. I fucking loved Pokemon when I was a kid. Ruby was my last game. Then a couple years ago, I got X and Y. I got really into Pokemon breeding, like super, super into breeding, like getting unique moves and all that shit. And this will be...
If you want Mitch to talk about that in more detail, just watch the Let's Go Eevee playthrough.
Where... Well, because I wanted cool Pokemon with unique movesets that no one else had. I wanted, like...
So they would flip the fuck out when I used it against them.
Yeah, dude, having a Luxray that had Double Kick and Ice Fang, fuck your dragons. Fuck your dragons, fuck your rock Pokemon.
Fuck your dragons, fuck your rock Pokemon, I don't give a shit.
Watching one of my college friends fucking lose his shit and almost break his 3DS when he saw Luxray use Ice Fang was the funniest thing to me. Oh,
That's beautiful.
Imagine if he broke his 3DS. How, like, you'd feel accomplished, but kind of like, oh man, you just broke your 3DS.
dude, the fact that someone bought one of my Pokemon, like,
if you're that immature that if you're that immature that you're gonna break your game because you like lost or whatever, you deserve to not have. You don't deserve to have it if you're gonna break it out of anger.
You need to calm yourself.
Calm yourself, sir.
Calm your tits. It's just a game, fam.
Sorry, bro. But like that's the thing. Like I can't wait to get back into that though.
Yeah,
and also it's on the Switch.
Yeah, and I'm interested in it because like the only Pokemon game I've ever owned and played was Pokemon Yellow on the Game Boy. It actually came packaged with my Game Boy Color because when I was like 7 or 8, whenever I got my Game Boy Color, it was the Pokemon edition of the Game Boy Color, and it came with a copy of Pokemon Yellow, where Pikachu is the starter.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's really cool because they base the region off of the UK, and all of the memes of the female trainer being a Scottish lass. I love every single one.
Oh, I know.
It's like you just scroll through Twitter. That's all it is. It's either that or like fan art of Scorbunny.
My favorite is it's 2 Pokemon. It's like they both weigh 2 kilograms, but steel is heavier than feathers.
So
I fucking seen that and I fucking lost my shit at it.
There's like 2 distinct fan arts I've seen of that, where they're like, look, they both weigh the same. They both weigh 2 kilograms. I don't get it.
But steel is
heavier than... but it's heavier than...
That's cheating. That one's bigger. That's cheating.
So I
just remember that fucking video. It's so dumb.
It's where were all these bomb ass memes when fucking The Sun and Moon came out?
I was gonna say I put some of them in lounge chat, but then I remembered this is an audio only podcast.
That's right. That's right. So real quick, what's everyone's? Because like the starters were released, and obviously like this is my favorite part of Pokemon releases because I don't know what the fuck they're going to evolve into, and I don't want to know until the day it comes out. Like so, like what do you think? Which starter are you gonna pick?
I have no clue. I did see a joke, however, someone joked is like because one of them's like a monkey.
Yeah.
Someone joked, what if they just pulled a Darwin and have it evolve into a human?
Oh no, they won't.
Someone joked.
They won't do that.
I know, but it was a funny joke at the time.
Oh yeah. Fucking. I would probably just end up going with Scorbunny because I've always been a fire starter. So.
Fire starter is solid.
Yeah. I'll have to stick with my guns, if only because I don't know what the gimmick is, and B, don't know what any of the other forms are. So I'm like, I'll just cross my fingers and pray.
It's I'll enjoy this one for what it is for now, until more information is dropped.
I mean, fire is pretty solid. I mean, it's just like, well, I'll just burn everything down until I can find what I'm,
Till I find what I'm looking for, or find a better Pokemon.
like that one rich guy a few months ago who burned his house down trying to kill a spider.
Seriously?
Spiders aren't that bad.
There was some rich guy who, I guess he tried to kill a spider. I think he tried to use like hairspray, like lighting the hairspray to make a torch, and I guess he just burned his whole fucking house down.
Oh my god.
If you're a rich man, you should have fire extinguishers in your fucking house.
If you're a rich man, you should be smart. If you're rich enough to have that much money, you should be smart enough not to fucking kill a spider with fire.
Yeah, honestly.
I have to know.
Unless you're like one of those people who inherited.
Are you Googling it?
I have to know. Did the spider die?
Oh,
God, you know what?
Like a fucking cockroach. That spider is still alive somewhere.
Yep. I I don't care
crawls
what
out
type
of
of
the
spider it
fucking
is. I
rubble.
love it.
No, like that guy sleeps at one night and then he wakes up and half of it's burned and holding a knife to its throat.
Just
Like you tried, but I'm still
You tricked
here.
me.
You should have gone for the head. Snaps fingers.
You stupid bitch.
I love how like it's like, oh yes, the fear is real, and
It's
then
like the
spider.
shark. It's like the shark from Jaws. It's like the shark from Jaws 2, which at some point in the film, someone tries to kill it by pouring gasoline on it and lighting it on fire, and the person dies, and the shark gets burned on one side of its face, and so like the rest of the film, the shark has this horrendous burn mark on the side of its face.
Jesus Christ.
It just pisses it off more.
Yeah, it's like in the Jaws.
I don't understand that logic.
like-
It's in water.
It's like its head was above the water.
Yeah,
when it
but
got
he
burned.
just go back down and he be fine.
Right, but you can
The
still
big
get
boy
like in
just
this.
go back in water. Fuck it.
It's just, I'm not going to explain because Jaws was one of those films that did not need 3 sequels. Come
Honestly, yeah.
on,
Yeah.
like they made 4 Jaws movies.
Oof.
I remembered a quote because Michael Caine was in Jaws 4, Jaws the Revenge, and someone
There's
in Jaws
4?
the Revenge.
Yeah.
There's a
the-
fourth?
My,
I
yeah,
only
Michael
remember
Caine-
3. Sorry.
Michael Caine was in Jaws the Revenge, and it's a horrible film. It's the worst of all of like the first Jaws is good, the second one is the third one is bad, and the fourth one is just a pile of steaming shit. But they asked Michael Caine if he had ever seen it, and he says, "I've never seen it. I heard it's bad, but I've seen the house it's built, and that's fantastic."
That's
Oh
He
so
said, I've heard the film. I've never seen it. I've heard the film is bad, but I've seen the house it's built, and it looks fantastic.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, I got paid a lot of money, so I don't give
What
a shit.
a
if it's
what
good
a
or
fucking legend! What a fucking legend!
See, but then you had like the really shitty spin-offs of like Jurassic Shark, which holy crap. There's like maybe 5 CGI scenes that are appalling as hell, but I laughed so much.
I prefer like models and like stop motion over bad CGI because at least you have something in front of the camera, whereas bad CGI looks bad no matter like how you frame it.
Yeah.
No, it's like they did not know how big they wanted to make the shark, and it was just so fucking funny. Like I couldn't get over it.
Like I would take the mechanical shark in Jaws any day over like bad CGI because at least like because in the first movie you barely see it. It's not like towards the end is when you start to they actually start to show it. But by that time, it doesn't really matter if it looks fake or not. You're fucking terrified of the thing because you've seen what it's done. You've seen it terrify this island. You want to see him put it down, and
Yeah.
they do battle with the thing. Like all they manage to do is piss it off when they're fighting it, like to the point where it sinks their boat.
God, the
Like,
fucking thing is so crazy.
What's with like shark movies and getting sequels? Because there's also like Sharknado, but I feel like that's more gimmicky and stupid.
Yeah, Sharknado was
Because,
more for the laugh.
Because
Yeah.
there's always another shark, unless you kill them all and make them extinct. But there's always another shark.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah, and you wouldn't
Because,
want to kill sharks because then fucking
Yeah, the ocean is full.
overpopulation of fish.
But that was the shitty thing
And shit.
about all the Jaws sequels. Like it's hinted at in Jaws 2, but in the fourth Jaws, Jaws the Revenge, they really pounded home that this shark is related to all the other sharks that have been in the previous movies, and this shark is out for revenge against the family of the police chief from the first film.
Because sharks have that cognition.
Yeah, like it's sort of hinted at in the second movie, like Chief Brody, who's played
Yeah,
by
they're
Roy
smart.
Scheider. He's like, hey, do sharks have a concept of revenge or something? Like he asked that question at some point in the movie, and someone's like, what are you fucking talking about? But so it's like hinted
Are
at
you
in
on
Jaws
crack?
2.
It's like, of course
Yeah,
not.
it's hinted at in Jaws 2 that this shark might be related to the other one.
Yeah.
But in Jaws, in the fourth Jaws, Jaws the Revenge, they really pounded home that this shark is a relative of the other sharks and is out for fucking blood. This family in
Oh,
particular,
God.
because this family killed all the other sharks. The Brody family.
Oh man.
That's
We're
fucking-
talking about Pokemon. How did we get to Jaws?
I don't.
I do not know.
Slide sometimes. Just gotta let it slide and just see how far it descends. And...
I know how quickly
deep do we go?
Just dissolves
I guess
into nothing.
this would also be the
Grookey
part
was
of
my
the
choice. I'm gonna go with Grookey.
We were talking
Sobble all the way. I want my sad salamander.
I know what happened. We were talking about fire, and then I mentioned that the shark in the second
burned down, and then spider, and then it went to shark.
It went to this. Okay,
to the next predator.
Yeah.
That was a rabbit hole. That was a rabbit hole and a half. Okay, I guess this is the part of the show where, because you wanted me to ask you guys questions about like what questions that I have as a viewer and as a patron.
Yes, but before we go into that, I just wanted you to know, because you are also a fan of Tommy Wiseau. You've heard about his shark movie, right?
Excuse me?
He is making a shark movie with Greg Sestero, and it's gonna be called Big Shark.
Are you pulling my leg right now? Or are you being
no, alright, I'm looking it up right now so that because I might have fucked up the title.
Is it just legit called Big Shark?
It is just called Big Shark.
Oh my god.
Big Shark.
Oh, there was a meme that came out the other day. It was it's a girl like posing in front of her mirror, but her younger brother opens the door and smacks her in the head with it. They edited out the boy and they put in Tommy Wiseau from that scene. I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
I've seen so many.
It was made by it was made
meme already.
It was made by Dolan Darker, and Greg Sestero reposted it.
Oh
Greg Sestero was like, "Thank you, Dolan."
My favorite thing about this is the fact that I want them. I don't know how old Tommy Wiseau is. No one really knows. But
I don't think anyone knows when he was born.
I think what I want, though...
Like, he's like a vaguely like Eastern European guy. We don't really know much about him other than that.
I want every year until he dies. I want every year until he dies, I want there to be a new Greg Sestero, Tommy Wiseau movie. And I want this just to be the new Abbott and Costello. Like, I just want this cycle to continue.
If you're gonna make the Abbott and Costello analogy, they have to at least at one point, Greg Sestero and Tommy Wiseau do the "Who's on first" bit.
Oh my god,
no.
Tommy won't
who's
understand.
On first, what's on second? I don't know. Who's on third?
Tommy is the one who's confused.
It's not even about the setup of the joke. He's just genuinely confused. No, so yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh shit, I just looked it up, because the last time I looked it up, I didn't see a birthday for Tommy Wiseau. There is a birthday now listed.
Oh, is there? Well, shit.
Don't tell us. We need to keep the mystery.
You don't want me to tell you how old he is?
No. I don't want to know how either long he's gonna be here or how little he's gonna be here.
I will tell you he's Polish. He's from Poland.
Oh, Polish. Okay.
Makes sense.
He was vaguely European.
Like I kind of placed his accent like Eastern European, but I wasn't like looking at him. You don't know how old he is. He could be any age
honestly,
between
honestly,
40 and
if
60.
you told me he was 50 in the room, I'd believe you. I just believe you.
I thought he was in his mid-40s. That's
honestly, I don't know. I can't physically tell what age Tommy Wiseau is.
That's very fair.
He's ageless. But no, getting back on topic, you had wanted to ask us some like questions and stuff.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask because I've thought of a few. Like, what's your favorite part of running the channel and like doing the shows and stuff? Like, what's your favorite part of it?
Okay, so this is the order we're gonna go in. Nate, then Amanda, then me.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite about running the show, or like, well, more so being a part of it, I guess.
Yeah, being a part of it, doing the shows and that sort of.
I don't know. It's kind of like it's a mixture of like a lot of things for me, because if you like my first couple of like streams and like my first couple of videos, I was very, very awkward. So kind of like how much I've kind of come out of my shell with this show, like with doing the show and all this kind of shit. how much it's kind of with the skill set that I have, because I am only young, but it's like I wouldn't have thought I'd be doing like editing, right? Like at this point in time, I didn't think I'd be, you know, creating freaking logos and kind of shit like that. And I don't know, it's kind of just like creatively it's opened me up as a person, I guess. And also, you know, meeting amazing people throughout the way. Obviously. So yeah, Amanda.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the sappy answer. And
the gay answer.
the gay answer, and just say that I genuinely enjoy getting to hang out with people. I genuinely enjoy like the talks and just hanging out. Like, god damn it, some of the fucking times I have laughed like the hardest is when I'm in like a rushed panic to finish like the art for a thumbnail and we're all just fucking laughing our asses off as I'm failing to fucking keep up.
How do you draw hands?
Yeah.
How do you draw period? And then I like genuinely enjoy just like hanging out. I've gotten a lot of really, really great friends out of this channel, and I'm really, really happy about it. Mitch.
I've said it like 1,000 times. When I was a kid, I wanted my biggest goal was just to make people smile. I didn't care what the job was. I didn't care what it, you know, anything about that. It was just something I wanted. And as I grew up and I got older, I realized that I had a knack for storytelling. It's something I really like to do. And you know, I feel like as we continue on this stupid adventure that we're on called life, I do find that, like, you know, the channel was always supposed to be kind of a temporary thing so I can get back into my more creative projects. But I found something here that's very unique, you know. It's something that I feel like I'm not the best Let's Player. I'm not Ninja or PewDiePie or Markiplier or anything like that, but I know what I am, and for what it's worth, the thing that I like the most about this is when, honestly, I mean, all three people in this room that's outside of me, you were all fans of the show at one point or another, and
still are. I don't know what you're talking about.
And when, you know, like, if I can at some point have made some sort of positive influence in some weird roundabout way to all of you, then I say mission accomplished. Would it be nice to get big enough so that I can make some actual cash out of this, and outside of making my fans pay me money every month and feeling horrible about it later? Yeah.
Listen, I'm a patron because
Josh, what the fuck? Why are you doing this?
Listen, I'm a patron because I want to be a patron. You're not forcing me to give you money. I'm giving you money because I want to give you money.
That's fair.
Because I think you deserve it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I really appreciate that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I was a fucking patron fucking beforehand as well, you know?
Yeah, it's true.
I think I still am. I think I just never fucking stop being a patron.
Yeah. That being said,
self-dealing like that.
Hey, what's up?
That's fair.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Welcome to the interview episode, the guest episode that we have for Austin. And 2, the question that do you have any questions for Austin? And 3, Austin asked us a question, and you can answer that if you want.
Yeah, because you just hopped in here like you always do.
Oh, yay.
Waltz right in like you own the fucking
making
place.
Everybody's lives harder.
Yeah, no, that's his favorite part.
Oh. Honestly, I feel like I'm not qualified really to, like... I guess... I'm assuming that this question's already been asked of Austin, but... Like, what made you want to become a patron for the Velvet Room?
Oh, that's a...
Because I had a steady income, and I wanted to support the channels that I loved,
Aw.
and I wanted to contribute to it. I just wanted.
How
to
dare you be a wholesome person? What the
I
fuck?
just-
Fuck you! Fuck you,
We
Austin!
expect trash people. What the fuck?
That was most of it. That was most of my reasoning, because I had been thinking about becoming a patron for a long time. Now, the thing that made me finally pull the trigger and become a patron was it was just after Gangmudo left, and Mitch was maybe floating the idea of doing P5, but for patrons only, on like Twitch. And I was like, shit, well, I have to become a and I had been thinking about, don't get me wrong, I was seriously considering becoming a patron before this, but then I was like, well, shit, now I have to become a patron.
You're like, oh fuck.
Well, that threat.
Well, the worst part about that was I think I kind of offhandedly said that, and then after that stream, or either, I can't remember when, but Gangmoon and I had a conversation. I'm like, this is the only show we're fucking doing right now. That's the worst idea ever. It's fucking cause I don't know, at that time we were only doing the one show, which that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, so Austin, you know, I wanted to thank you for having you on the show. Is there anything else you wanted to ask real quick? I mean, it's up to you. Or better yet, do any of you guys have any questions for our fucking guest?
For our fucking guest. I guess, are we doing something right now that you really like? Like one of the games that we're playing?
I'm really happy that you're playing Persona 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. How far
how's
are
that
you
going
in it?
for you?
'Cause I've only seen a couple of the streams. I've been meaning to watch more. How far you've gotten into it?
We are on the Fuqua.
Fuka?
Thing.
Like we're on the
yeah,
brink.
we're like on the brink of finally meeting Fuka.
Oh,
Finally.
Fuka's wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So we're on the brink of about to meet her. So that's where we currently are.
I can't wait until you get to Aigis, because oh my god, I love her.
Oh, I know.
So
I'm so lost.
Get to
okay.
the best toaster.
It's okay, Nate.
It'll be okay, Nate.
I did have a question for Austin real quick. So one, I think you did cards on the table. I think you did like really solid as a guest today. I think you did a really good job.
Yeah.
If we ever do, because we are thinking about going back to a more Velvet Talks format where we have more of a kind of like structured talks or like a general idea to adhere to throughout an episode. I'm thinking about having guests on for specifically a Dungeons and Dragons episode where we'd be talking about, like, maybe not our experiences through the campaigns, but rather like, hey, let's talk about this game. Why is it in the last maybe 3 years or so it's really popped? Like, what is it? What has happened, and what do you think of it? Would you be interested in coming on for like an episode like that?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I had fun tonight. I would
Awesome.
absolutely love to do this again.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyone else want to say anything before we start heading out and closing things up?
We're really bad
Make
at
sure to
this.
like, comment, and subscribe. No.
Oh no!
And
Make
use
sure to-
promo code Velvet
Make sure to deep throat that fucking like button.
Lick that.
Oh
lick
my-
the tip of that comment button.
Make sure to pay special attention to the bell, and I mean the bell next to the subscribe button.
So like so we have this whole gimmick that we're going for with our rebranding. I'm not sure if you've heard about it or not, Austin, but we're considering changing the name of the show and everything, and changing up some of the ideas, because Velvet Room Gaming, while it is very while it's the name that we've had for a while, it's also kind of our biggest hindrance, because it's like this immediate judgment of what we are like as people to call ourselves Velvet Room Gaming.
You had mentioned that to me before. One of the times we've talked is that you were thinking about changing the name,
and we have a much more concrete idea of what we're going for.
We just need a name.
Right. Well, I actually got to talk to you guys about that at some point, but
Oh, okay. Shit.
But
Shit,
without revealing too much, I was trying to think of fun ways to end videos, and it was like the tip and comment on my belly.
Oh no.
And I sat there and I'm like, is this
I just think of like the sexy Mitch that I've drawn, and I'm just like, yeah, no, why?
Well, hey, if these are things that'll make us like, because that's the trick, right? So like, look,
sex sells, right?
Sex does sell, but also like, look, let's be real here. Like, you know, I love doing this. I absolutely love doing the show. I absolutely love making productions and things.
It's the you become the submarine gaming channel because a submarine is long, hard, and full of sea.
That's right.
Oh no.
That's right.
No.
And then it's like the submarine is between two peaks, and but the point is we're branding, and we're putting a lot of work into this transition that we're going to be going through as a channel, and also, you know, like having that kind of you know, having that be like our big thing. So like I guess one of the reasons I'm bringing it up is because I just thought it was a very funny, dumb moment. And the brainstorming sessions, because guess what? I'm also looking to get a fucking visual novel maker and get back into writing and shit like that. It's not like I had like 17,000 things already on my fucking plate. I'm deciding to possibly write a visual novel, so that's fucking great for me. So
these are choices you have made.
Yes, and I'm glad to do it because creatively speaking, I love, absolutely adore just working on shit, whether it's just breeding Pokemon.
Doki Doki YouTuber Club.
Doki Doki YouTuber Club.
We have been trying to, so like we have that going on. We have like the rebrand and everything. The rebrand I'm hoping is going to turn out super solid. It seems like we're very concrete on our decision. It's just a matter of getting the naming down and doing all of the, like, Amanda's doing most of the work. So like.
And just that game at the end, instead of just deleting itself from your hard drive, it also deletes System 32 and your computer bursts into flames.
Basically.
Unsubscribes from...
It wouldn't take much to fucking kill Mitch's computer, let's be honest.
Hey, it wouldn't take a lot to kill your computer, you little bitch.
Can you not talk? Freaking Griffin's right there. How dare you?
What?
Griffin?
Who?
I've named my PC.
Did you name your computer?
Yes, I did.
Did you name him after?
Everybody named their PCs.
Did you name your PC after your fucking love of Peter Griffin from Family Guy?
No, no.
That's right. That's all, folks. All right, later, guys.
Now I gotta change the name of my PC. Fuck you, Mitch.
I actually saw a thing recently. Someone modded Peter Griffin into Smash Ultimate.
Oh, wow.
He actually uses King K. Rool's mod set. He uses K. Rool's move set. It's like Peter Griffin's model from that one Family Guy video game that came out like a long, long time ago.
Oh my god, that sounds really solid. That sounds really stupid. That being said, guys, we'll catch you guys next time on Mitch's Minute. Maybe starting next week we'll be doing the Velvet Talk format, and who knows? We'll be fucking getting into that later. Anyways, guys, catch you later. Thank you so... Oh, before we go, Austin, do you want us to plug you on anything real quick? Like, do you have, like, anything you want us to let the guests know? Like, where we can find you and stuff?
On the socials?
Yeah. Do you have, like, a Twitter or...
I really don't have anything to plug, unfortunately. Sorry.
It's okay. You know what? What? We're just happy that you were here. Anyways, guys, we'll catch you guys next time on Mitch's Minute.
It's the friends we made along the way.